Let's try it out.
Action is coming.
Give me your fucking money.
Hey, what's up you guys, it's Navelow here, and today I'm going to be showing you my 2023 shoe collection. I did a video just like this back in 2018, but since then I've sold and bought a lot of different pairs of shoes. But if you would like to see that video and kind of where I started, I will have a link in the description below so you guys can go view it. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the collection. So to start this collection, I'll be starting off with my Jordans, going from the lowest number all the way to the highest number. And to start off with my ones, I really only have one at the moment, and that is the Jordan 1 Yellow Toe, also known as the Taxis. This is the most recent addition to my collection, but I do really enjoy it. It's just a really overall nice shoe that you can wear in the spring, summer, fall. I don't really know about the winter, but it's just got a really nice color scheme to it. And because it's a Jordan 1, it will really never go out of style. It's just a really nice shoe that I like to wear a lot. For my next shoe, this is the Jordan 5 Satin Breads. My brother actually picked these up at a thrift store, and I asked him like what size are they and whatnot, and he told me. So I tried them on and I was like, you know what, these actually don't fit too bad. He eventually just gave them to me. I do plan to sell these just because they're not in my ideal size, but they can fit if I just, you know, scrunch into them. But they are a nice little shoe that I could just beat up for the moment, and it's a Jordan 5. I've never had a 5 before, but I do like them. I'm more of a 4 or even a 3 guy than a 5, just because the 5 with the little zigzag on the midsole, it's just a little bit loud for my taste, but it is a nice shoe. Now this next shoe might be the most hype shoe that I have in my collection, but it is the Jordan 6 Travis Scott Olive. I always like the color olive. I think it's a great fall color that not a lot of people wear, but when you do see people wearing it, you're like, damn, that's a really nice color. And as soon as I saw the Jordan 6 in a olive kind of colorway, I just needed to have it. I love the hints of infrared on a lot of different pieces of the shoe itself. So it was just a really cool shoe overall, and I didn't even realize at the time of buying it, but the outsole actually glows in the dark. I'm a very detail-oriented person, so when it came to this shoe, there's so many hidden features, just like this little pouch on the side of the shoe that you could really store anything in. It's not necessarily big, but it's just a cool little quirk and feature about the shoe that I really think sets it apart from a lot of other Jordan 6s or just shoes in general. Like I said, I'm a very, very big fan of the olive colorway or just a deep forest green in general. So to go on with my Jordan 12 collection, I have the Jordan 12 CP3, also known as the class of 2003. Now, as soon as I saw this shoe, I posted in my Discord and on Twitter, and I was like, hey, what do you guys think about this shoe? And I have not gotten a single bad review on this shoe or anybody who thought like low of it. So I was like, yep, I need it. This is a fantastic shoe. Not only do I think Jordan 12s are a very underrated Jordan, but this colorway, man, it is so beautiful. It's got a nice nubuck material all around the shoe with a nylon mudguard, which I know a lot of people see as controversial, or they don't necessarily like the nylon pick for material on the mudguard, but I don't necessarily mind it. I think it puts a lot of character to the shoe just because it's a relatively unique material to a Jordan 12. There's also a few hints of gold around the shoe, like the golden Jumpman on the tongue, some eyelets, and then also on the back of the shoe there's a little bit of gold there. But overall, it's a very clean shoe that is not really, loud, but it is attention grabbing just because there's not a lot of olive colored shoes. Like I just previously said, Jordan 12s are some of my favorites. So to kick off another Jordan 12, this is the Jordan 12 International Flight. This is a very unique shoe. Like I said, I'm very detail oriented, and this has so many small details that just bring the shoe together. You got some really cool Japanese clouds embedded onto the suede. You also have some koi fish scaling on the mudguard and some Japanese writing on the back and the inverted Japanese clouds on the sock liner as well. We also have hints of red all over the shoe, like on the tongue, the 23 on the back, and then also a little bit of the red coming from the outsole up onto the toe box. Just an overall beautiful shoe. It's just like the Jordan 12 Indigo, but I think this has a little bit more class to it and a lot more detail into the thought of making the shoe, which is something that I really do appreciate. Now finishing off my Jordan collection is actually the only Jordan that I had in my 2018 video, which is the Jordan Son of Mars. Now I rarely wear this shoe ever, just because of the purple, and as much as I like the color scheme with the shoe, it's just that I have so many other cool shoes to wear that I just never throw these on anymore. But I don't think I'll ever sell these because these were the first Jordans that I actually ever bought. Now transitioning away from the Jordan brand over to a brand that's on the come up as of recent is New Balance, and these are the New Balance 990 B3. Now I know this is a dad shoe, but living in the DMV, the 990 series is a very big deal over here, so kind of having this is just a nice little staple within the collection. Even though I don't necessarily wear it all too often, it is nice to have. And funny story is I go thrifting all the time. I love looking for shoes and just shirts and clothing in general for a really nice price, and I got these for $13.94. And these are in great condition. I don't know why somebody would give these away, but man, these were a absolute steal. Very comfortable shoe. It's a dad shoe, but you know, dad shoes kind of do go with any kind of outfit that you can really throw on, so it's a really nice shoe to have. Speaking of dad shoes, this next shoe is probably by far my most favorite shoe in my collection for right now and probably for years to come. This is the Yeezy 700 Wave Runner. This is another dad shoe that I think really caught wind as it progressed and grew older. A lot of people hated it at the very beginning of its release, including myself. I thought this was one of the most ugly shoes of all time. I thought this is just horrendous. I've always been a fan of the 350 V2s, but man, this was just ugly. And here I am saying years later that this is my most favorite shoe almost of all time. I love the different colors on it, the orange, the green, the blue, the gray, the white. There's so many colors on here that it's just a very weird like shoe with a lot of different color combinations, but for some reason it just works. I'm also a Miami Dolphins fan, so the orange and the blue and just overall color scheme of the shoe just fits just in line with the Dolphins colors as well. So enough of me being in love with this shoe, let's keep going with the amount of Yeezys that I have. Keeping up with the Yeezys, this is the Yeezy V2 Zyon. Even though this looks like a gray and black shoe and it looks very simple, there's a lot of earth tone hints to it. There's a lot of brown kind of embedded into the gray, which brings the shoe to be very unique. I would say the only thing that I don't like about this shoe is there's no pull tab. I think the pull tab to the V2s is something very unique, and I love having the pull tab on the back of it. But I would say my favorite silhouette of all time is easily the Yeezy V2, or 350 V2, sorry. And man, I love wearing the shoe. It's very breathable. It kind of goes with anything as well, and it's just a nice shoe that I can kind of just throw on and it just works. Continuing with my Yeezy collection, I have the Yeezy 350 V2 Lite. Now this is a very unique shoe. I actually bought this shoe and the Zyon, the one before, in a bundle deal, and I just really wanted this shoe. The Zyon just kind of came with it because it was a decent price, but I really just wanted this shoe, and this shoe really surprised me when I got it in hand. Honestly, at first I didn't do much research on it. I thought it was just an all white Yeezy, but man, this changes color when you wear it outside. This little strip right here actually turns orange, and the side of the Yeezy, the other side of the Yeezy near the toe box, actually turns a little bit pinkish. It's not a bright pink, but there's a little bit of a hint of a pink if you're actually looking for it. So it's a very unique Yeezy, and I think it's really cool. So if you're just wearing it at night, it's just an all white Yeezy, but if you're wearing it during the day, there is a hint of color that can pop out, and it's really cool. Not to mention it has the pull tab, which I really do enjoy. Not that I necessarily use the pull tab, but I think it's just something that goes along and is synonymous with the V2 350. I love both of these shoes. Great summertime shoes, very breathable, and just a very unique and obvious silhouette if you know what you're looking for. Transitioning away from the Yeezys and the hype shoes in general is a shoe brand that I don't really see in a lot of collections, and that is the Converse J.W. Anderson collab. Like I said, I don't really see a lot of people wearing Converses that have kind of like hype sneakers, but man, I love this collaboration. Even though it's a very cheap shoe and you can get this shoe for like $40, this shoe just looks kind of designer-esque in my personal opinion. I love the way the shoe looks. It just kind of gives me a designer kind of feel because of the grid design with J.W. Anderson's name printed all over the shoe. And then also there's a little stitch JWA that stands for J.W. Anderson. This is another shoe that's so versatile. It's got red, it's got black, it's got very deep navy blue and white. It's just something that you can kind of just wear with anything. And this is a Chuck 70, so it's not a regular Chuck, so it is a lot more comfortable than a regular Chuck. So you can actually wear this, you know, daily, and it won't necessarily hurt your feet. It's not the most comfortable, but in terms of Chuck Taylors, it is a very comfortable shoe. Keeping up with the high top shoes, just like the Converse, next I have the Nike Blazer 77 Mid Indigo. This is a really cool shoe. As soon as I kind of figured out what the shoe is, I fell in love with it instantly. As you can see on the back, there's a little bit of an indigo tree kind of like stitched into the shoe. That's really cool. And also on the back it says Nike, and it gives the scientific name of the indigo tree or plant, sorry. It's also got some cork hints to it, both on the back of the shoe, the tongue, and a little bit on the laces, or basically something that you can take off. I don't know the exact name for what this is called, but you can take it off and it's got a nice little cork feature to it. Also, it's on the bottom of the shoe. So the upper is made out of canvas. It's kind of a hard shoe to clean, so I like to keep it clean, but it's a really nice summer and springtime shoe just because of the colorway. Absolutely love this shoe, getting a nice little wear and tear out of it as of right now because it's springtime going into summer, so really nice shoe to be wearing at the moment. Continuing with my small blazer collection is the Blazer 77 Mid Supreme collaboration. Now this isn't the original collaboration between Supreme and Nike Blazers, but this is the second, and I do like this shoe quite a bit because it's got a nice little quilted kind of feeling and quilted look to it. I'm a sucker for quilted stuff, so it kind of being all alongside of the upper of the shoe is something that I just instantly fell in love with. Whenever I wear it, it gives me an elevated feeling to it that I don't really get with a lot of other shoes. It's got some cool hints to it, like this little back pull tab thing that says Supreme on it, that's gold. It's got a nice little, almost Louis Vuitton kind of checkerboard on the back. It also has got Nike on the back, and also on the tongue itself it says Nike SB Supreme, and it's got a little bit of hint of gold on there as well. Rounding off my blazer collection is the Nike Blazer Mid 77 EMBs. Now this is not a hype shoe whatsoever, and it does not even compare to a Wave Runner or the Travis Scotts, but this is a shoe that I really do enjoy, and I am a firm believer that the Blazers are a nice overall shoe that you can kind of pair with anything and it just looks nice. And that's exactly what this shoe is. It's nothing hype, it's nothing really cool, but it is something that will never really go out of style, and it works well with a lot of different colors. It's really just a shoe that has like an eggshell and off-white kind of color all over the entire shoe, and it's got a nice hint of brown and a nice splash of orange on the Nike Swoosh itself. This shoe is fantastic during the spring and also especially during the fall time just because of the colors, and it's just an overall great shoe that I like to wear, especially with my Champion hoodie. It's got a nice little eggshell kind of colorway to that as well. So pairing that up with this and some like blue jeans, black jeans, gray jeans, anything that you really pair this up with, it just goes really well together. At the time of this recording, the Nike Dunk wave is kind of going on a downhill slope, but that hasn't stopped me from buying one of my favorite shoes just because of how much detail is put into this, and this is the Nike Dunk Low Barbershop. As soon as I saw this shoe, just like the Jordan 12 class of 2003, as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it. There's so much detail put into it, a really awesome story to go along with it, and the colorway is just something that you really can't mess up. As you can see, it's got a red, blue, and white kind of lining around this tannish, kind of goldish material that's supposed to represent the movements of cutting somebody's hair with hair clippers. So it's just a really nice detail-oriented shoe. On top of that, the lace tips are red and blue to also kind of go along with the theme of the shoe. And then on top of that, one of my favorite things is the outsole of the shoe. It's this really nice minty kind of blue color. It's very dirty just because I wear my shoes, but it is a really awesome color. Now again, this is a very cut down suede, so this isn't something that I can wear on the daily, but it is something that goes along with basically anything that I put on. Even with the shirt that I'm wearing right now, this is something that can just go with basically anything that you throw on. I feel like if you're into shoes, you really just gotta have a fresh pair of Nike Air Force Ones triple white almost all the time on deck, just because of how versatile and how famous of a shoe it is. Now this is just a classic shoe, not really much to go over other than it's just something that you can kind of wear with whatever you want, and it just always will look nice. The only time that it doesn't look nice is as soon as the toe box starts to crease like hell, is kind of when you start needing a new pair. But other than that, this is just a great overall shoe. Not much else to say other than it is the Air Force One triple white. Now the only other Nike Dunk that I have is the Nike Dunk High Glow in the Dark. This is another shoe that was in the 2018 collection video that I said that I was going to sell, and unfortunately, obviously, I have not sold it yet. But I actually have gotten some wear out of these. It's a really cool shoe because it's all glow in the dark. So I wore these in a glow in the dark mini golf date. That was really cool, and they just kind of stood out. Speaking about shoes that were in the 2018 video, this is yet another one. This is the Nike SB Portmore. Now I believe that I have gotten this name wrong so many times, but I just remember this shoe as the Nike SB Portmore. I believe this is a Janowski shoe as well, but this is another shoe that I don't necessarily wear anymore just because I have a lot of other cooler shoes to be able to wear and get a lot of love out of, and this has definitely seen its days. And I do love it, but this isn't something that I necessarily wear anymore. I don't plan to sell this shoe just because if I need a shoe and I know it's going to get absolutely torn up and dirty, I'll throw these on. And it's a nice shoe just because, again, as you can kind of see, there's a little bit of a pattern when it comes to me talking about shoes. I love versatility, and this is just a shoe that can kind of just go with anything just because of the colorway itself. Now jumping into my basketball shoes, I have the one and only Reebok Shaqnosis. The only time that I wear these is when it's snowing outside and I gotta go clean the driveway off and make sure that there's no snow on the driveway. I wear these because I don't care about them. I think it's a cool shoe to have. They are very comfortable. There's a lot of padding within the shoe, and I do think Shaq is probably one of my most favorite players of all time, so I like having his shoe, but man, I never wear these. This is the Nike LeBron Soldier 7 King's Pride Edition. It's got a lot of cool quirks and features, like this floral print that's kind of all around the shoe and also on the strap of it. And it's got a really cool splatter paint effect with this neon green that's on the mudguard. This is another shoe that I don't necessarily wear all the time, but I will never get rid of just because I think it's a beautiful shoe. The way that I look at shoes is something that you can wear, express yourself with, and it's also kind of like stock if you really want to get into reselling. It's something that you can hold on to, gain a lot of money, and then sell. But I think this is just a very nice art piece because there's not a lot of shoes that have floral print on them that also connects it with a very neon green and white, and it just kind of comes together and makes a beautiful shoe. And this is just something that's very unique. This is the last basketball sneaker that I have in my collection, but I would arguably say it is probably the best basketball shoe in my collection, which is the Nike Hyperdunk 2014. I adore this shoe. If I ever start playing basketball again and I need to get some new basketball shoes because the traction on these are completely gone, I am going to buy this exact shoe once again because that's how good it is. Super comfortable, lasts me a long time, was there for me through hell and good times, and I just adore this shoe. Traveling back over to the Adidas side of things, these are the Adidas NMDs. Now I don't necessarily know the colorway, so please don't roast me for that in the comment section below, but this is one of the shoes that really kind of set the tone for the kind of shoes and shirts and overall clothing that I buy in the future, just because I love the kind of muted colors, and I think burgundy is a nice shade of red, and it's kind of those shades. Like, I love the color blue, but I like wearing navy. I love the color red, but I like wearing burgundy, etc., etc. So this is kind of the shoe that really set the trend for me getting more of a muted kind of color in my closet. The next pair of shoes that I have are the Adidas NMD Japanese collection. Now, as a past Foot Locker employee, these shoes kind of came out exactly at the time that I was working there, and I saw them on the shelves, and every time I went into work, I was like, damn, I really want to get those shoes because right here you can kind of see some Japanese lettering. Now these shoes are yellowing at this point and it's kind of getting a little bit grimy and disgusting, so I don't really wear them all too much, but there's a lot of backstory to the shoe as well of why they're yellowing, but it's still a really nice shoe. And I wear them just kind of whenever I'm walking or going for a jog or just kind of lounging around. It's a nice shoe, it's nothing crazy, but it is a cool little thing. Now the next shoe is a shoe that was personally given to me by a friend when he was moving away. These are the Adidas Tubular Shadows. Now if you've been listening carefully, you could probably tell what I'm about to say anyways, but this is yet another shoe that I don't necessarily wear all the time. This is a shoe that I wear whenever I go paddleboarding because it's just a shoe that I don't mind getting dirty or roughing up, and even if somebody was to steal a shoe when I'm out on the water, I wouldn't personally mind because it was given to me for free. Now slowly but surely transitioning into some more dressy shoes and boots, I have some Steve Madden sneakers. And to be honest with you, I have no idea what they're called other than them being Steve Madden shoes. I bought these just because I love the way that they looked. They have a nice ribbed feeling on the side, some nice little suede accents, and also possibly one of my favorite parts of the shoe is this zipper. There was somebody in one of my college classes who kind of dressed very different from everybody else, and his shoes almost always had a zipper on it, and I was like, damn, that's really cool. So then the next night I went looking for some shoes that I personally liked that had a zipper on them, and I landed on these and I never looked back. Next, I have a just basic pair of gray suede Chelsea boots from Boohooman. I personally buy a lot of clothes from Boohooman just because they fit me a lot alongside the company called Sonoma, and these were a pair of boots that I just got from them because they were really cheap and they were really nice. I don't really wear them all too much anymore, but I did get a lot of use out of them and they're creased to hell, but I do like these just because if I ever need a pair of gray Chelsea boots for whatever reason, I have them. Now I'm personally new to the boot world. As I'm getting older, I do appreciate a nice boot, and this I think is another Chelsea boot. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below. I don't know everything about boots, so please tell me if I'm being wrong about this, but this is another black pair of Chelsea boots. I have absolutely zero idea what company makes these, but probably one of the biggest reasons why I bought them is yet again, it has a zipper. That means they're very easy to get on, very easy to get off, and I never have to lace them. But it's a relatively comfortable all black boot, and I love wearing these. Next, I have a pair of Franco Francini brown leather boots. Like I said, I've been recently getting into boots, so I've been buying them, and this is one of my most recent pickups when it comes to boots. I just felt like I needed a brown leather boot that I could really just throw on, and it looks better with age, and I don't necessarily care about how clean or dirty that they are, and this is one of them. I honestly loved how aged it looks, and the more wrinkles and creases that it has, I think it actually looks better. And a very stylistic choice, but I personally do enjoy, is that there's a little bit of a jean material at the cup of the sock liner that I actually think makes the boot very different and unique. Now rounding out my boot collection is the Timberland Wheat boot. Now as most of you guys know, I'm very tall, standing around 6'7", 6'8", so when I tack these on to my height, the amount of looks that I get are crazy. The questions that I get are astronomically stupid. Why do you wear them? You're already so tall. I don't care. I like the boot. I like the boot. I can't wait to get the black version of these as well, but man, the wheat color just in the fall time and the winter time, it looks phenomenal. Now I do have 5 other shoes that I didn't think that they deserved their own segment, but I thought they were worth mentioning, including this pair of regular black dress shoes that I have, a pair of Adidas Predator cleats for whenever I play soccer, a pair of Sperry boat shoes that are just regular Sperry boat shoes, and then also a pair of Nike, Jordan 1 reverse bred mids. These are a size 11. I picked them up at a thrift store, but I just thought mentioning them would be kind of cool, even though I can't even fit into them, and I do plan to sell them. And last but not least is my pair of Nike Air Press to Fly. The reason I didn't think that these deserve their own segment is just because they're a pair of shoes that I love to get dirty. They're currently extremely dirty, but again, I just use these for yard work, or if I'm doing something very dirty. I don't necessarily have to clean them 24/7 or keep them looking like they're on ice. So those were just 5 pairs of shoes that I didn't think that they deserved their own segment, but I did think that they were worth at least mentioning. So yeah guys, that really just wraps up my 2023 sneaker collection video. Please tell me which one was your favorite, or give me your top 3 favorite shoes that are in my collection, and tell me what shoes you guys are seeking out to be able to get as of right now. And this is something that I don't necessarily get to mention in a lot of my other videos, but a lot of my Apex videos and content gets demonetized due to copyright. So please, please, please check out the memberships that I have below. It helps me financially, as I don't make any money off of the Apex videos that even are monetized. And then the videos that do get monetized, or that do get demonetized, are usually the ones that actually would pay me somewhat of a decent amount. So please, as always, I don't ever expect you guys to support me monetarily, but if you can and you have the opportunity to do so, make sure you check out the memberships below. So yeah guys, as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video. See ya, bye.